The Nationals take 3 of 4 down in Atlanta, and of course, it wasn't the Nationals offense, it wasn't the Nationals bullpen, it was the Nationals starting pitching that got the job done.
You are Locked On Nationals, your daily Washington Nationals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, I'm your host, Ryan Clary. You can catch me over on Twitter at RyanClary11 and as well as the show page at LO_Nationals. For all your latest Nationals news and notes, make sure to check us out over on Twitter. And of course, while you're at it, make sure to search up Locked On Nationals wherever you get your podcasts, including over on YouTube. And make sure to hit that subscriber button. Please give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Whatever you want, I am happy with it. Later on in today's show, we will have a preview of the Guardians series, as the Cleveland Guardians have been one of, if not one of the best teams in all of baseball this year. And of course, they also hold the number 1 overall pick in this year's MLB draft. So we'll have that preview a little bit later on, as the Cleveland Guardians and their starting pitching has been incredible all season long. And of course, not only just that, but they are among some of the top major league teams as far as home runs go. They've got a lot of star power, and they're just a very good, well-rounded organization. We'll have that preview a little bit later on as the Nationals go up to Cleveland. And as Joe Kim Noah once said, nobody has ever vacationed in Cleveland. It is a business trip for this Nationals team. Can they get hot yet again after just beating the Atlanta Braves in 3 of 4? We'll have that preview a little bit later on in today's show. Second segment, of course, it is a Friday, a new staple of the Locked On Nationals podcast, a Nationals prospect stock report. Who's been up, who's been down? I've got your latest individual performances. And of course, some of the Nationals' top prospects, they have been hot. I'll give you a little preview. DJ Hers, Kevin Madey, Marquise Grissom Jr., Brady House, and Brad Lord. Those are the names who will be mentioned on today's podcast. So let's start off, though, talking about this national series. But before we get into it, today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 with any winning $5 bet. Just visit FanDuel.com/locked-on to get started. So we're going to get started right here, right now, talking about the Nationals taking 3 of 4 in Atlanta. And of course, if you were listening to my preview on Monday, I did not expect that. I did not expect the Nationals to go down to Atlanta, a place that we have just really struggled with over the last few years, especially open up the new ballpark, Truist Park. Beautiful ballpark, by the way. I think it's a very cool atmosphere. Braves fans pack that thing every single night. It does not matter what time the game is. They show up and they show out. But as we have said, this Nationals team, there's a little bit of an inconsistent puzzle here. There has been. But one thing that has been the constant so far, especially in the month of May, as we close out May today, this Nationals pitching staff. What has gotten into them? I mean, last year, it was not really a complete disaster, but it was not good. You had Patrick Corbin, who was doing his thing, Trevor Williams doing his thing. And now going into this year, you now have 4 starters that have a sub-4 ERA. Now, that may not sound insane here. I mean, we've seen Nationals pitching staffs in the past, like in 2019, just go out there and completely dominate ball clubs every single day. But this is not really what I expected this year. And of course, we discussed what Sean Doolittle and the effect that he has had on the starting staff just on yesterday's show. If you haven't seen that, check it out in the second segment. We discussed a lot about Sean Doolittle and what he has had to do with the Nationals' success so far in 2024. But this Nationals pitching staff and what they did against a very good Atlanta Braves offense. Again, the Atlanta Braves, one of the top home run hitting ball clubs. Think about this for a second. One of the better offensive teams who, yes, they did just lose Ronald Acuna Jr. over the weekend. This is their first full series without their superstar reigning NL MVP. But they held the Braves to 9 runs over the course of 4 games. And again, looking at these pitchers and what the Nationals did, the starting pitchers in particular, let's start with game 1, Mitchell Parker, a big game pitcher. 6 1/3, 3 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, 0 walks. Dominated. And even then, those 3 earned runs, he gave up a home run late in the game. he was a lot better than what that indicated as well. Tuesday, Jake Irvin, 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, 10 strikeouts, and only 2 walks. Dominant. The Nationals dropped that game because they scored 0 runs, but still, Jake Irvin was dominant in that performance as well. And then you get to Wednesday, one of MacKenzie Gore's best starts of his 2024 campaign. 5 1/3 innings pitched, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 10 strikeouts, and 0 walks. Again, the most important factor in that game, 0 walks. And then yesterday, Trevor Williams, who I was saying beforehand, and if you know my bit, you know my bit already. I will say every single time before Trevor Williams goes out there, all right, it's going to be over now, right? Wrong. 5 2/3 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts, and 2 walks. This starting staff right now, I mean, these are the 4 guys that you want. Like, these are the 4 guys that you want going out there if you want to win a series. And as we've seen, if the Nationals get some decent run support, the Nationals starting rotation, they can get you deep into ball games. And of course, if you have your A bullpen going, in which the Nationals, they've had that going for them over the last few weeks here, you'll be just fine. Because again, in yesterday's ball game, for instance, Joey Meneses, top of the 3rd, 2-run double, scored Lane and Jacob Young. 2-0 Nats already right off the top of the bat there. Jesse Winker comes up, another double, scores Joey Meneses, and then it's 3-0 Nationals. And then after that, you're not looking past that whatsoever. What the Nationals have done with this rotation, again, are we praising Sean Doolittle maybe a little too much? Potentially. Because again, the Nationals, they do have some sort of momentum growing in their farm system, as we'll have a lot of starting pitchers and a lot of bullpen guys as well in the Nationals prospect stock report a little bit later on. This development staff has been doing an incredible job, not only down in the minors, but also up in the majors as well, as you see guys like Mitchell Parker continue to develop. You see Jake Irvin take that next step into this season. MacKenzie Gore as well, that goes without being said. You see it now from top to bottom, from low A Fredericksburg all the way up into the Nationals big league club. This has been a different organization. You have not been able to see this Nationals team under Mike Rizzo develop pitching the way that they have over the last year and a half or so. And even then, as we said, there are a lot of other guys down there as well. As hint, we have 3 pitchers who are stock up on the Nationals prospect stock report. These guys are not just your typical average Joes. They have been pitching their asses off. And yes, sorry to excuse my French there, but that is what the truth is. The Nationals, I thought this year was going to be about the offense. I thought it was going to be about CJ Abrams taking a step up, in which he has. But even then, over his last 2 games, he's 0 for 10 for 7 strikeouts. Those are over the last 2 games. 0 for 10, 7 strikeouts. You won both those games without having your spark plug on the offense lighting things on fire. Again, CJ Abrams was basically a non-factor down in Atlanta over the last 2 games. He just was. 7 strikeouts in his last 10 at-bats. It was not good. But it goes to show you that when you have Lane Thomas back, having him make a difference, when you have Joey Meneses finally getting extra base hits out here, you have Jesse Winker contributing to the action, Nick Senzel getting an extra base hit in yesterday's contest as well. Things are starting to click for this Nationals team. And of course, when you do that and you have good starting pitching to go with it, and you have a good bullpen to go with it as well, things are starting to look on the up. And if you're a Nationals fan, you got to be excited about where the direction of the organization is headed right now, especially after we tell you guys about what's going down in the farm system. As again, it's been quite some years since the Nationals have been developing prospect arms, and I've got 3 for you who are doing damn well down in the minor leagues. We'll have that for you. But of course, thank you all for making Locked On Nats your first listen every single day. So we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And now, let me tell you guys about some of our very good friends over at FanDuel. And guys, it's winner take all time in the NBA and NHL, and FanDuel's giving you a shot to bring home a big win of your own. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 to bet on spreads, money lines, player props, and more. Guys, the Oilers and the Stars, I'm going to take Connor McDavid anytime goal scorer. It is just that much fun. It adds a little bit more spice to your life. And I want you guys to have that, of course, because maybe you have Connor McDavid at -110. It doesn't matter. You can get your odds at FanDuel. And of course, when you do that, visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make every playoff shot count. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Again, that is FanDuel.com/lockedon, because I want you guys to get on the action with our friends at FanDuel. Again, visit FanDuel.com/lockedon. Thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcast. And are you watching Fox Sports or ESPN on your TV all day? Have to turn down the volume with all that shouting? Make the switch to Locked On Sports today, a free 24/7 streaming channel program for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the screaming. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't-miss analysis, opinions, and news, streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Now we get into it as the Nationals. This is a new staple of Locked On Nationals. On Mondays, you get your big league Nats stock report in the second segment of the show, but on Fridays, you get a Nationals prospect stock report where we take a dip down in the minors, and of course, we get you the latest on who's been hot, who's been not, whose stock is up, and whose stock is down. I've got you covered here. So let's start off with a stock up, because we always start with the positive. Stock up for DJ Hers. Down in AAA Rochester, the left-handed pitcher, one of the main acquisitions from last year's trade deadline from the Chicago Cubs. He has been very good so far as a Washington National. He started off the season very slow in Rochester, and for a lot of different reasons, but he's back. He owns one of the best changeups in all minor league baseball, and really at the AAA level right now. Seriously, that's what it is. Lindsey Crosby used to host Locked On MLB Prospects back in the day. He was touting him for his changeup, and you've seen it. You saw it down in spring training as well. But one of the more important factors in DJ Hers, and kind of what has held him back just a little bit, is the fact that he walked way too many guys. Well, over his last 3 starts, and last night he struck out 10 batters, by the way. Over his last 3 starts, he's got 15 1/3 innings pitched, only 8 hits allowed, 3 earned runs, 23 strikeouts, and only 5 walks. If you look at some of his stat lines just from 3 weeks ago, I remember he walked 7 batters in one outing, 5 batters. I mean, it was way too many walks, way too many walks. One of the worst in the Nationals farm system by far. But he has the stuff. Is he going to be a starter at this point? I don't necessarily know. That is a tricky question. That is a question for Sean Doolittle at this point. I'm not smart enough to answer that. I just simply can't. Because I can't really put my head and say, is this guy a starter? Is he a bullpen piece? He walks too many guys to be a starter, but he's got the stuff to be a starter. But then also he's got the stuff to be a bullpen guy. He's one of those tweeners where you can kind of go either way. And at this point, you can make an argument for both sides. But since he's been starting, he's been good. He has been good over his last 3 starts. Again, 23 strikeouts in his last 15 1/3 innings pitched. His changeup has been changing. His fastball has been fasting. All the different things you want to see from DJ Hers, he's been doing. His command is back in pace. I mean, DJ Hers is someone that you could see up in the majors maybe sometime this season. I don't know if it would be as a starter again or a bullpen guy, but a left-handed pitcher, big, towering presence, a big changeup. Again, one of the better changeups in all of minor league baseball. He has been very good to start out and over his last few weeks here. And his last 3 starts, again, 15 1/3 innings pitched, 23 strikeouts, and only 5 walks. And again, the base on balls, that is what I'm looking at here when it comes to DJ Hers. So kudos to him. He's getting it right back on track, and he deserves it. Stock down for his partner in crime in that Chicago Cubs trade, Kevin Madej. Stock down for him because over his last 7 games, he started off the season very hot down at High A Wilmington. But since then, last 7 games, he is 3 of 24 with 10 strikeouts. He's got 5 walks, but he's got 0 extra base hits as well. He started off the season wildly hot. This is someone who's going to play up in the middle infield, shortstop, second base, really can play anywhere. He'll be kind of that utility sort of piece that the Nationals will be dreaming of someday. Very good arm, very good athleticism over up the middle. Kevin Madej, though, at the plate, it has not been all that pretty as you continue to watch and see what he observes down in the minors. And The Nationals, this is going to be a project. A lot of people are very high on Kevin Midday. He was having some really good success. He takes his walks, doesn't really strike out all too much. Again, has got that good batter's eye, 21 years old, young kid, but still, it has not been all that pretty for him the last few games here. Again, the last 7 games, 3 of 24, no extra base hits, 10 strikeouts in those 24 at-bats. So maybe can get it back on track at this point. But again, there's not too much pressure around him. Stock up for son of a 10-plus year MLB veteran, MacKenzie Gore Jr. Stock up for him. He has just been promoted from High A Wilmington to Double A Harrisburg, and it is for all the right reasons, because if you look at his last 9 1/3 innings pitched down in Wilmington, he's got 9 hits, 9 strikeouts. He's got a nasty changeup as well, sitting mid-90s. This is someone who is now on my radar. I've kind of heard about him again, 12th round pick just a few years ago, pretty young kid, but he was never really on my radar as like a guy that I'm really going to be watching closely. DJ Hers was one of those guys. Andrew Lara has been one of those guys. Yarlene Susana, one of those guys as well. But MacKenzie Gore Jr. has got my attention at this point now. He has been saving games for the Wilmington Blue Rocks. I'll see what the role will be for him in Double A Harrisburg, as he's yet to make an appearance. He was just promoted, I believe, 2 days ago. So I would probably expect to see him in a game maybe tonight or in tomorrow's action or Sunday. It'll be one of these few days here. But MacKenzie Gore Jr. has got my attention. He's touted for a really good changeup. Nothing special with the fastball. Again, sitting mid-90s. Maybe you can add some velo and put him in the back of the bullpen. But as you see with Kyle Finnegan, you don't have to throw 100 miles per hour to be a good closer in baseball. You just don't. Mason Miller is out there. Yeah, he's pumping 102 miles per hour, but that's really only him at this point. Hunter Harvey throws 99 to 100. Yeah, it's good, but you don't have to have the velo. You can get it done if you do have the secondary pitches, and that is what MacKenzie Gore Jr. has been showing down in the minor league. So he's got that good changeup as well. Maybe the Nationals have found something with him. A 12th round pick, I believe, back in 2022. Son of a major leaguer. He's got the makeup. He's got the tools. And again, coming from Georgia Tech, maybe the Nationals have stumped their toe into another good reliever down in the farm system. We'll have that for you a little bit later on, and kind of keep an eye on him down the road, because he has been saving games for the Wilmington Blue Rocks. And again, he's on our radar now. So keep an eye out for MacKenzie Gore Jr. as he heads up to Double A Harrisburg. You'll probably see him at some point this weekend. Stock down for Brady House. Now, when you're a first-round pick, I'm very high on Brady House, for the record. When I give you someone a stock down, it's usually because they have been bad. Brady House has not been bad, but I have high expectations for him. Again, I have said this, and this is going to be a crazy, outlandish take to some people. I've always believed that I think Brady House will be the best overall hitter when it comes to James Wood and Dylan Cruz in Brady House. I said it. I've said it many times, and I just believe in Brady House. I think he's got the power. He's got the hit potential. And again, he's just got the makeup to be a very good major league hitter. And again, he is only 20 years old at this point in Double A, doing pretty well. But over his last 16 at-bats, really over the last week, he's got 4 singles, no RBIs, no power this last week. His season OPS is down to 776, which is not bad by any stretch of the imagination. But again, I've got high standards when it comes to Brady House. I think this guy is going to be a big slugger at the MLB level. You'll see him sometime next year, maybe at the end of September this year, for a cup of coffee up in the bigs, and then he'll get down to AAA to start on opening day of next year. We'll see what the Nationals decide to do with him. But Brady House, again, it's nothing to be concerned about. This is a stock report. His stock is down right now for the reasons that he's not hitting for power, and that is one of his main tools. If you are a power hitter, you need to hit for power. That's why I get on Joey Meneses. If you are a power hitter, which that is what you're touted to be, you're a first baseman, you're going to be your DH, you got to hit for power. Joey Gallo in the same boat. Brady House now is a lot better than both those guys. Joey Gallo obviously had his days. If Brady House could have the early career of Joey Gallo, I'd be thrilled. But Brady House, no power right now. He's kind of been driving the ball. He's still getting good contact. Still got 9 home runs on the season, in which has been a very impressive start to his Double-A season. But his OPS down to a 776. And again, the hard contact It's got to find some holes here, but we'll see what Brady House can do moving forward. So it's a stock down for him. Stock up. This guy, it's got to be on everyone's radar at this point. Brad Lord, a right-handed pitcher, a 20th round pick, someone who is not really that highly touted by anybody out there, but over his last 5 starts, and again, this guy's got a track record now dating back to last season as well. Over his last 5 starts, he's got 31 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 18 hits, 29 strikeouts, 11 walks. Batters have a 250 slug against him and a 173 batting average against in those 5 starts. This guy has been very good, very, very, very good at this point. I don't know all too much about him. The Nationals, you don't really see him on any prospect radar charts, but again, people are starting to recognize Brad Lord. This is now 2nd time that he has showed up on the Nats stock report. And again, I believe it was 2 weeks ago when I was kind of saying, look at this guy, Brad Lord. He's been pretty damn good this year. He was good last year as well. And he's working his way up the Nationals farm system rankings. And I would not be surprised to see this guy kind of just come up out of nowhere. He's not striking out all too many guys. He's more of a finesse guy. But still, as we said with Marquise Grissom Jr., you don't really have to have the finesse kind of stuff that Mason Miller has with the Oakland A's, the stuff that Hunter Harvey and Kyle Finnegan has down with the Nationals. You don't have to have that to be successful up in the bigs. Brad Lord has just been pounding the strike zone, getting strikeouts, getting weak contact. That is all you can ask for. Guys like Kyle Hendricks with the Chicago Cubs, now he's not Kyle Hendricks, but he's had a successful career for a reason. The reason why that is because he's a finesse kind of pitcher. He has been around the leagues for quite some time because he is that kind of guy. I'm not saying Brad Lord is going to be Kyle Hendricks. If he is, then the Nationals are in for a huge treat. I can tell you that right now. But Brad Lord, the guy's been good. He has been on my radar now. He continues to work his way up from high A Wilmington and double A Harrisburg. Brad Lord, I would not be surprised to see him bumped up to triple A here, maybe within the next 2 months or so. 25 years old, so relatively young. He has been wildly impressive for the Nationals so far in 2024. Thank you all for making Locked On Nats your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcast. Now, let's preview the Guardians-Nationals series, as, of course, the Nationals, you got a tough one here. I'll tell you guys about that after we tell you about our friends over at Stitch Fix. And guys, you know that instant confidence boost you get from an outfit that makes you look really good? That's what I get with Stitch Fix. And guys, easily upgrade your wardrobe this year with a professional stylist that helps you find new on-trend favorites that will work for you. I just give my stylist my size, style, and budget preferences. I order boxes when I want and how I want. No subscription required, and they send 5 just for me pieces plus outfit recommendations and pro styling advice. I keep what works and send back the rest. My stylist always sends just right pieces and the fit is on point. It's like they never have style, especially I don't know how they do it, but they just get me, and I want that you to get Stitch Fix as well. So style that makes you feel as good as you look. Get started today at stitchfix.com/MLB and get $20 off your first fix. That's stitchfix.com/MLB for $20 off. Stitchfix.com/MLB must redeem within 7 days of sign up. Again, stitchfix.com/MLB must redeem 7 days within sign up. And thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, the Nationals take on the Guardians in Cleveland. And as Joe Kim Noah once said, nobody ever vacations in Cleveland. This is a business trip for the Washington Nationals. Tonight, Patrick Corbin against Tanner Bybee. Tanner Bybee, a very good pitcher, his 2nd year up in the majors. I remember his debut last year. I believe he struck out 8 batters in his debut in Cleveland. Was wildly impressive, and he's been on my radar ever since. Very good pitcher. Going up against Patrick Corbin. Let's just not preview this game for tonight. You know what to expect with Patrick Corbin. Just the offense, you got to come to play here. Patrick Corbin, get me 4 to 5 innings pitched. Leave it to 3 to 4 earned runs. I'll be fine with that at this point as well. Tomorrow, that's when the series starts. Mitchell Parker against Ben Lively, another right-handed pitcher. Mitchell Parker, at some point, I keep on saying this, but the envelope's got to stop pushing at some point. Mitchell Parker has just been unbelievable. If he does this against a very good Cleveland Guardians offense, then I'm done. This guy's here. He's going to be in the rotation forever. Mitchell Parker is a very good pitcher at that point. If he does it tomorrow against this Guardian staff, against this Guardians offense, against a very good team and just a well-rounded organization, Mitchell Parker, it'll be a Monday Mitchell Parker day for you. I promise you that right now. Sunday, Jake Irvin and the Guardians have yet to announce a starting pitcher, but over the first game, you have Patrick Corbin going. It's never ideal when you have Corbin on the bump, but you have Mitchell Parker and you have Jake Irvin, two of the Nationals' hottest pitchers in all of baseball right now. Really, one of the best rotations in the NL East at this point as well, outside the Phillies. You got two of your guys going. You can get this win. Now, of course, the Guardians, they've got a good bullpen. They've got a very good rotation, and they've got a very good offense as well that does have some power in that offense as well. Jose Ramirez highlights that thing. He just said that he believes he's better than Barry Bonds. Now, was he serious? I don't know. But still, you got to think to yourself, let's dominate this guy. Let's go in there in Cleveland. You've got nothing to lose. You're playing with house money. The Guardians are playing with house money as well. They've just developed prospects out the you-know-what, and they are so good at it, just developing pitching. One of the best organizations out there, continues to develop pitching, continues to get the most out of guys, especially deep in their bullpen. But you've heard of Emmanuel Clase, one of the best closers last year in all of baseball. He has been struggling this year. He's been on the struggle bus as well. Maybe the Nationals can take advantage of that. I don't know at this point, but you've got two guys going tonight. Probably going to be a washout with Patrick Corbin, if we're just being honest here. And again, you're going against Tanner Bybee, who is a very good starting pitcher. He's got the glasses. I love pitchers with glasses. Reminds me of Tyler Clippard, which, by the way, Drew Storen and Tyler Clippard on the broadcast last night, really cool to see. But I had PTSD from having Drew Storen out there in the broadcast booth. So maybe the Nationals can get it done, but if they don't, you move on. You got another series starting next week. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Enjoy the weekend. Watch some Washington Nationals baseball. We'll see you on the flip side.